Hello folks and welcome to Formula One Paddock Pass, your post-qualifying edition for the 2019 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, in a weekend which had been dominated by Ferrari and, more importantly, by Charles Leclerc on a track that he absolutely loves. Topped all the sessions, topped FP3 and was looking really good coming into qualifying. Did he take pole? Should we spoil the surprise? Let's not for the time being. You've probably already heard what happened, but have come here for some post-session reaction. So let's take a look at the results, if we shall, of Q1. So Q1 ultimately was disrupted because Robert Kubica made contact with the wall down there at turn 8. It was a massive crunch into the wall for the pole. We thought he might have made a little bit of contact with the wall on the exit of turn 7. As it was, he told us that he didn't. He just clipped that inside apex at turn 8, and that then obviously crumpled the suspension in on itself and launched him into the barriers. Big hit over 20G, but he's feeling all right. The question, though, after what we saw earlier on in the weekend and the damage that George Russell, his teammate, took with the contact with the manhole cover, they've had to use their only spare tub on George Russell's car. If that chassis has sustained damage in the crash for Robert Kubica, the team doesn't have another spare. Robert will not start the race as it is. 20th and last in qualifying, and unfortunately not for the first time this year. George Russell, P19. He only had the 1 hour of practice this weekend, obviously having had his car rebuilt on the Friday, just this morning's practice. So he said he went into quali feeling a little bit blind, but I think did a pretty good job with that as his basis. Nico Hülkenberg in P18. This is a track that's bitten him over the last few years, but he's usually been pretty fast up to the point where he's just lost a bit of concentration and put it into the wall. This weekend he's not been on it. He says he's got no harmony with his car. There's no confidence. He's not at one with it. He can't do what he wants with it. Very, very unhappy and looking towards another miserable day. Tomorrow, Romain Grosjean, P17. We're about to talk to him. In P16, Lance Stroll. Should have been much better. The pace potential was there potentially for Q3 for Lance Stroll today, but as he said, he failed to get his build-up right. And he said that had stemmed from practice and delays and but when the time came, he hadn't prepared himself properly, didn't get the most out of his car or his lap out in Q1. So let's talk to Romain Grosjean, P17 for the Haas driver today, and here's why.
It's been complicated since the beginning of the weekend, to be fair. The feeling is not quite there. It got better in quali, we did a good job, and I was quite shocked to see the lap time and what's missing to first to go into Q2 and against my teammate. First one was about 2 seconds off Kevin and second one still a second off. So we need to analyze everything. Obviously it hasn't been our best weekend so far. It's complicated and we haven't generated the grip. So there's still some more work to be done there. But yeah, qualifying feeling was okay actually. So very, very surprised to be that far off.
So the handling of the car itself in terms of its response to you is on point, feels good, but there's just no speed in it.
Yes, that's about it. It just feels okay. It's not amazing and I can tell it's not going to be pole position, but to be a second off Q2, that's a bit of a shock. And
so to Q2. Temperatures dropping. Already a big delay because of the repair work that needs to be done to the barriers after Kubica's accident. But Ferrari gambled and went out on the medium tyre, on the cooler track, trying to get into Q3 with the alternate strategy and the potential of getting through on the medium tyre. Leclerc did go through, but again in that session, big disruption because Leclerc went into the barrier at turn 8, exactly the same place as Kubica. Slightly different accident though. He didn't clip the inside of the corner, he just locked up the front right. Way too much pace in, straight into the barriers, beating himself up. Furious with himself. He hit the wall earlier in the weekend, got away with it. The first big mistake he's made around here, and this is a track where if you make a small mistake, it can have a very big consequence. But as it turned out, that first lap that he set on the medium compound tyres was enough to have got himself through to Q3. Ultimately, though, not to be. So drivers out. Pierre Gasly, having set the session-topping time in Q1 with a massive tow, didn't put in another lap. He is starting from the pit lane because he didn't go to the weighbridge during practice and so has had that penalty. But he told us it felt good to be up at the top of the timesheets and clearly shows the pace potential that the car has in it. They hadn't even turned the engine up into full quali mode. It was still pretty much in a race mode spec, so he feels good that he can fight through from the pit lane tomorrow. P14, Kevin Magnussen, we've heard from his teammate already, and similar issues for him. Car felt okay, no grip and no ultimate pace in it. Alex Albon, gutted. Toro Rosso had looked really good all the way through this weekend with the car that I think had the potential to be best of the rest. Ultimately, he will finish in qualifying at least P13. He'll probably pick up a couple of places with penalties ahead of him. But yeah, Alex Albon gutted, and it was just, as we got later into the day, and you can probably see I'm shivering, temperature dropped massively, and as that temperature dropped, he just couldn't get his tyres into the right window. 12th, Daniel Ricciardo, similar issues to Nico Hülkenberg. Lacks grip, lacks confidence. Because he lacks the confidence, can't get on the brakes as much as he wants. Because he can't get on the brakes, doesn't carry the temperature in the brakes, losing a bit of grip, loses confidence, loses brakes, loses the brakes, loses the temperature, and it's that ever-decreasing cycle that's led him to a P12, P11 for Carlos Sainz, gutted. What happened to him was he was behind Magnussen on his fast lap. Magnussen went off, yellow flags, Sainz's lap in the bin, but he felt he had a car that was good enough for P6. We are, though, going to talk with Charles Leclerc. Gutted, absolutely gutted, with a lap that could have seen him put through into Q3 and fight for pole position, but it is all of that promise, all of that potential in the bin.
Well, the team has zero blames on that. The car felt quite okay. It was obviously a bit trickier than the soft, but which is normal. You expect it as a driver. First lap went okay. Second lap, I throw all the potential of this pole away. Only myself, only my mistake, and nobody else to blame. So yeah, I will learn from it, come back stronger, and hopefully tomorrow, especially tomorrow, I'll try and recover from a stupid mistake today.
Delayed Q2's just ended. Your time would have been good enough on that first lap on the medium to have got you through into Q3. Does that make it in many ways worse?
I am already very hard enough on myself that it doesn't make it any worse, because I don't think it could have been any worse after how hard I've been going out of the car. So no, it doesn't.
You start then Q10 for tomorrow, P10 for tomorrow. You clearly have a phenomenal car underneath you.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm also even more disappointed, because the team and the people that have supported us deserved a lot better. But yeah, especially the team that has been working extremely hard to come back. I believe we had the potential for pole after what we've shown, and I throwed it all away, so I'm very disappointed.
And so to that final fight in Q3, we are one Ferrari down, we are one Red Bull down. And wouldn't you know it, it's a Mercedes 1-2, but not the Mercedes 1-2 that we might have expected after Lewis Hamilton smashed in a phenomenal lap because Valtteri Bottas pipped him at the death. So it's not the Ferrari front row that everything up to this point would have led us to believe. Top three haven't got down here yet, so haven't had a chance to talk to Sebastian. That'll be coming up in a little bit. Let's talk to you, though, about positions 10 to 4. P10, Charles Leclerc, we've already heard from him. Kimi Raikkonen in P9, didn't get his first run and was pretty unhappy, actually, with how his qualifying went. Antonio Giovinazzi in P8, a phenomenal qualifying performance from him all the way through today, has a 10-place grid penalty because of control electronics unit, another new one that he's got in the back of the car this weekend, so he'll start down at the back of the field, but I think a very, very good day from Antonio Giovinazzi. P7 and P6, who should we hear from, Steve? Norris and Kvyat or Norris and Perez? Or should we hear from all three? Why don't we hear from all three? I think all three had a really good day. Lando Norris, we're going to hear from him in P7. Danny Kvyat in P6. As we said, Albon gutted not to get up there into the mix, as was Sainz in the McLaren. So their teammates up in the fight in Q3. And Sergio Perez, a brilliant P5 for Racing Point. Max Verstappen P4. Needed a toe like Gasly, he thought, and then he might have had, he reckons the toe here is worth about half a second, and with a toe he thinks he could have fought for pole. Without it, ultimately lumbered in P4. Here's the best, though, from Lando Norris, Danny Kvyat, and a couple of words from Sergio Perez, P7, P6 and P5.
I mean, it's been probably one of my better weekends, let's say, in terms of my pace at Carlos and our pace as a team. Still not as good as what we want. There were 2 more places which I probably could have got today if I nailed the lap and had maybe a slightly better slipstream. But I'm happy with the P7 here. It's nice to get that for the team, of course, but it's Baku, so it doesn't mean we're going to be finishing with a great result or kind of guaranteed as it is in some other tracks. It's all to play for, so I just need to look ahead for tomorrow.
It's a very jumbled up grid. How much are you looking forward to the race?
A lot, I think. We got a Ferrari behind, Gasly. There's a lot of probably faster cars, let's say, behind us, but it's always thrown up some good action in the past. So I want to stay out of the stay away from people that might get a bit more feisty. But I think the aim for tomorrow is to get to the checkered flag, and hopefully we can end up with a good result.
We spoke last night. You spoke about the confidence that you had straight away in the car. It's shown again today. Great job.
Yeah, it was good laps in Q3 especially. It gives you great satisfaction to put a good lap together on this track because it's for brave people, this track. So it's very very unique, and pleased with my lap here. And tomorrow is a long race, so we will try to put everything together tomorrow, because if we do, I think we have a chance for a good Sunday.
You've been mixing it all the way through qualifying, all the way through practice as well. The cars look competitive in all sessions. Very mixed up grids tomorrow. Does that put you some confidence for the race?
Well, like it's always been here in Baku, the race can be very unpredictable and can be very interesting. So honestly, also need to keep our head cool.
What is it about you in this track, man? That was a great qualifying.
Yeah, it was a very good qualifying. Really good job from the whole team. I think in terms of strategy, in terms of thinking when to go, when not to go, what we had to react. It was a very long qualifying period, which I think we took some advantage from others, from the pit wall, from the experience, and pleased with the result.
Puts you in a fantastic position tomorrow. I don't want to jinx it, but it's a great starting place.
Yeah, it's a great starting place, but we have a long race ahead of us tomorrow, so that's the most important to try to push for tomorrow.
And so then to your top 3 drivers, it is an all Mercedes front row again, but this time definitely against expectations. Valtteri Bottas on pole position, Lewis Hamilton alongside him, and in 3rd place it is Sebastian Vettel. It had looked so great all the way through the weekend. Talk us through the I guess disappointment that the team feels right now, not taking what looked to be yours by rights.
Well, I think Valtteri did a good job, so it's his, and he deserves it. I think we would have liked to be obviously ahead, and if not ahead, significantly closer. But all in all, it was a tricky session. A shame to lose one car with Charles in Q2. So, nevertheless, I think we have the race tomorrow, so anything can happen here.
It looked like the drop in temperature really played into Mercedes' hand. With that in mind, back into the normal temperature window for the race tomorrow, do you think you guys go in as favourites?
Well, we'll see. Obviously, it's a lot more straightforward when you have continuous laps. There's quite a science going on now, trying to get the tyres to work and so on. So, but that's the name of the game, and in the end, it was tricky for us. I, prioritized the tyres over the toe, which I think was the right decision. Felt like the right decision. Losing in the last sector obviously hurts, with nobody in front, but yeah, that's what it was.
A slightly unexpected front row for Mercedes today?
Absolutely, yeah. We didn't think that we'd be quick enough to particularly lock out the front row. Charles had been obviously incredibly quick all weekend, and we had made improvements, and I think it was being close, within a tenth or two or something like that, but turns out it didn't end up doing the same job we did. So really proud of everyone in the team, and all I can do is laugh really, because at my lap, because I should have been quicker, and it's easy to kind of get caught up in your mistakes, but you just have to laugh it off and move forwards, and tomorrow's a long way.
Cool. The temperature dropped massively over the course of what was a very delayed session. Did that have any effect on your overall competitiveness?
Just the balance of the car shifts when it gets cooler, and I think it's dropped like something like 10 degrees or something over the session, and so you just have to pay attention to that. Also, getting temperature into the tires is a little bit harder, and otherwise it's just this is probably the toughest qualifying session here, almost of the season. It's definitely easily in the top 5, maybe in the top 3 of the most challenging qualifying sessions and tracks actually to drive, because these high speeds you're approaching into these corners much higher than places like Monaco, and when you enter a corner, for example turn 7 of Singapore, you've got that wide exit, so you can really commit, and if you go a little bit wide, no problem. As with this one here, you turn 3, you've got no space, and that's how it is in a lot of the corners here. So it's massively challenging, and I really enjoy it. And I mean, I generally suck here, so to be on the front row, I'm pretty grateful.
That was a huge lap. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, you had porridge today, didn't you?
Yes. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
We're at the same hotel.
Yeah.
How was the porridge?
So
I mean, it's clearly fuel for incredible performances.
last time I had porridge was Melbourne, so
Was it really?
no, I have it every morning now. So
You should get yourself a porridge sponsor.
yes.
Get on it, Felix. Great job today. Phenomenal. Where did that extra speed suddenly come from?
Good question. I think first of all, as a team, we really did a good job today, because going into qualifying and even early on in the qualifying, we saw Ferrari was super quick, but we were just keep focusing on ourselves, our performance, how we can get the tires to switch on even better. We're working on the timings, tire pressures, all the details, and once it came to the end of quali 3, we were in the right place at the right time, with the right setup of the car, and we managed to get the tires to work even in the cool conditions. So, and also, I had to drive a little bit as well, but so it was good.
After last year, does this place owe you one tomorrow?
I don't think no one owes anything to anyone, but for sure, it's last year was not ideal, and I'm trying to get something I feel belongs to me.
So that is your lot from post-qualifying Paddock Pass here in Azerbaijan, a weekend that Charles Leclerc looked to have in his hands. But he's young, he's inexperienced, he's going to make those kind of mistakes, and nobody knows that, and nobody will be more disappointed than him. I'm sure, though, come tomorrow morning, he will have put it behind him and will be eager to get going in the race. Of course, he will start P9 with the penalty for Giovinazzi, and he has a phenomenal car underneath him. Pierre Gasly will start at the back, trying to fight his way through the field as well. A lot of drivers out of position, a really jumbled up grid, and we know that Baku has a tendency to throw up a surprise. I can't wait for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, don't miss it. And we will see you for Paddock Pass tomorrow after what we hope is a thrilling Grand Prix.